This page is the front cover of issue 24 of 64 magazine. It's screaming about Nintendo 64 being the best with a big pow. And Mario right in your face looks like he's back with a vengeance. Smash Brothers is splashed across the cover, looks like they are hyping that 4-player brawler. Mario Party is there too with the tagline, "No need to bring a bottle, cheeky." FIFA 99 is being touted as potentially the best footy game ever, which is a bold claim. They've got a preview of Castlevania on page 38, and some smaller mentions for Carmageddon 2, Quake 2, and Vigilante 8 under the Plus section. There's also a vote for the best games ever, with details on page 22. Looks like a proper packed issue, this one. This page is split down the middle. In it, on the left, there's an advert for a cheat service, claims to be the UK's biggest and best for N64 cheats and tips. They're boasting about cheats for over 700 games, across N64, PlayStation, and even PC now, which is pretty comprehensive back then. They're running a competition too, blimey. You could win a colour telly, a PlayStation, N64, Metal Gear Solid, Dreamcast, and other bits and bobs. Just gotta call those premium rate numbers 09066 and 098080. Flipping over to the right, it's a subscription page for 64 magazine itself. Subscribe to 64, it yells, offering a saving of up to £42, which is a fair whack back then. They're saying if you subscribe you get 12 issues for less than what you'd pay in the shops. And as a bonus you get a free choice of either a Zelda 64 Solutions book, an As of Nintendo 64 Volume 2, or a Banjo-Kazooie book. They've got screenshots of games like Zelda 64, Turok 2, GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie, ISIS 98, Diddy Kong Racing and F1 World Grand Prix to tempt you. Then below, they're showing off the covers of those free books you can get. Right at the bottom, a little nudge to turn to page 88 to actually subscribe. Clever stuff getting you to subscribe, right after the cover. Issue 24 of 64 magazine highlights Castlevania 64 as its cover feature. The magazine includes features like the 64 Reader Awards and a nostalgic look at old gaming magazines. 64 site previews Carmageddon, Quake 2, and Vigilante 8. Regular sections cover Nintendo and PC news, reader mail, game reviews, and previews. The issue features a Game Busters section for game extras, including cheats, high scores, and guides for Rogue Squadron and South Park. The review section is packed with games, covering Smash Brothers, Mario Party, Castlevania 64, Goemon 2, FIFA 99, Magical Tetris Challenge, All-Star Tennis 99, Nightmare Creatures, and Virtual Pool 64. This page is the showcase section of 64 magazine, kicking off with Andy McDermott's editorial, where he's chuffed about the magazine's success and addressing readers' feedback about flimsy cardboard box inserts for games, preferring the sturdy Japanese plastic ones. Moving on, there's an article titled Nintendo on PC, which discusses N64 emulation on PC, specifically mentioning an emulator called Ultrahill and the fact it can run Super Mario 64. They mention it's technically impressive but also highlight the legal grey areas and Nintendo's likely stance against it, plus the emulation isn't perfect with jerky gameplay and sound issues even on a decent PC at the time. It also points out that downloading ROMs is illegal. Then there's a piece on Duck-em-up Duck Dodgers First Shot, previewing the upcoming Duck Dodgers game, a 3D platformer starring Daffy Duck in his Duck Dodgers, Persona fighting Marvin the Martian. It sounds like a Mario 64 style game. Lastly, there's a piece called Rock Solid, Metal Gear Solid 64 on the way, discussing the strong rumors from Japan about Metal Gear Solid coming to the N64, suggesting it won't be a direct port of the PlayStation game but designed specifically for the N64. Scattered around the page are little blurbs about the magazine staff under the heading Scary People, giving humorous descriptions of Andy McDermott, Roy Kimber, Ben Lawrence, and Nick Trent. This showcase covers N64 news, peripherals and charts. Gaming news includes a distribution dispute, the upcoming release of Gex, Enter the Gecko, F1 World Grand Prix 2 in development, Actua Golf 4 on the way, and a slight delay for South Park but with South Park 2 confirmed. Gizmos and Gadgets reviews several N64 peripherals, Thrustmaster Stingray 64, good buttons, wobbly D-pad, Wild Things Mirage Pad, chunky, decent D-pad, Thrustmaster's Formula Race Pro steering wheel, lap-based, Game Master G64 Rumble Force Wheel, rumble, Wild Things 1 Meg Vibrapack, memory and rumble, and Ashiwheel 64, foldable, no pedals. The charts show Zelda, Ocarina of Time stock issues, 1080 Degrees Snowboarding's continued popularity, and Rally outperforming F1 World Grand Prix. The top 20 is topped by Star Wars, Rogue Squadron, followed by Turok 2 and 1080 Degrees Snowboarding, with GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie, and Super Mario 64 holding strong. Paragon Publishing advertises their strategy books, and there are competitions to win Buck Bumble merchandise and Micro Machines gear, plus a game voucher giveaway. The next page showcases Wipeout 64, boasting about 4-player action exclusively on the Nintendo 64. There's a huge image for the game and some screenshots of the futuristic racing in split-screen mode. Below that, there's the Game Watch section, a list of upcoming games. For March 99, there's a stack of titles like FIFA 99, Mario Party, Micro Machines, 64 Turbo, Quake 2, Rayman 2, South Park and Twisted Edge Snowboarding. Moving into April and beyond, there's mentions of Army Men, Duke Nukem, 0 Hour Again, Gomon 2, Hybrid Heaven, Lego Racers, Rush 2, and Shadowgate 64. Finally, there's a big list of games with no confirmed release dates yet, including Perfect Dark, Pokémon Snap, Resident Evil, Road Rash 64, SimCity 2000, StarCraft, 12 Tales, Conquer 64, and WWF 2000 amongst loads more. It seems like there's a fair few games in the pipeline for the N64 still. This letters section covers various N64 related topics. Yanking the Yanks complains about the lack of American sports games like NFL Quarterback Club 98 and MLB Pennant Race on PAL N64s, offering a cartridge ink removal tip using clear seal pads. Link Stink discusses a player's disillusionment with Zelda, Ocarina of Time after 35 hours, preferring GoldenEye. Bahda critiques Zelda's ending while celebrating discovering the James Bond theme on the Ocarina. Girls and Boys criticizes Rare's focus on male characters, advocating for female leads. Round 1, Fight, laments the absence of Street Fighter games. The 64 Aurum section features reader opinions on game previews, character choices and Zelda. Finally, Bad Skin follows up on the ink removal tip, and a star letter wins £170 worth of N64 accessories. This page from a gaming magazine features reader letters and a large game mail order advertisement. Kiwi Comment complains about high prices and the lack of esports games on the N64 in New Zealand compared to other platforms. Not About Zelda apparently criticizes a review of Turok 2. Lost My Memory laments the necessity of memory packs for N64 games, even when not strictly required. Net Loss mentions a Turok 2 cheat and Vrali's chart position, while My Brain Hurts also questions Vrali's score. A humorous memory card losers box follows. The advertisement promotes various N64 games, like Zelda and Star Wars, broken down by genre, with prices. Accessories are also listed. A free memory card is offered with game purchases, along with standard mail order details. Carmageddon 64, subtitled, Zombies Watch Out, Carmageddon's About, is a preview of the N64 port based on Carmageddon 2, Carpocalypse Now. Developed by Creations, the game features zombies instead of human pedestrians, a change implemented in the original PC version due to controversy over running people over. The N64 version will offer new vehicles, a unique training level, and environments like city streets and ski resorts. Producer Ben Gunstone defends the game's violence, suggesting media overreacted. The article touches on the morality of the game's premise, referencing the comparison between Carmageddon and Wargames. Screenshots showcase the fast-paced, blocky gameplay, including a monster truck-style vehicle and city environments. The game is scheduled for a UK release in May 99. The next page in 64 site is all about Quake 2 on the N64. It's headlined, Kill 'em! Kill 'em! Kill 'em all! Which sums up the gameplay nicely. They reckon if you've played Quake, Doom, Turok and the like, you'll be right at home. The article describes Quake 2 as pretty much non-stop action, just blasting away at strong aliens. It mentions the single player is about finding keys and progressing, but the real draw is 4-player deathmatch, especially as the N64 version of the first Quake only supported 2 players. They're saying the graphics are looking even better than the original Quake, which is a bonus. Dador. There's a section called the hardware, which runs through some of the weapons you'll be using: shotgun, super shotgun, machine gun, chain gun, rocket launcher, hyper blaster, railgun, and the BFG. Standard Quake arsenal really. Published by Activision and developed by Raster Productions, it's slated for a spring 99 release over here. Looks like they're keen on it, hoping it'll be even better than GoldenEye, for multiplayer fun. 64 site previews Vigilante 8, a vehicular combat game coming to the N64. The game, a sequel to Interstate 76, pits the vigilantes against the villainous coyotes who are trying to steal military secrets. Players engage in car combat across 8 levels, destroying or defending targets, with objectives varying based on the chosen side. Promising multiplayer action includes deathmatch modes and a 2-player cooperative quest mode. The N64 version boasts faster frame rates, new music, and a secret character. Real-time terrain deformation allows for dynamic level changes. Developed by Luxoflux and published by Activision, Vigilante 8 is scheduled for release in March, aiming to improve upon the original PlayStation version. This page is a voting form for the 64 Magazine Reader Awards, celebrating the best of the Nintendo 64 across various categories. The awards are divided into game, technical, and people categories. Game awards include Best Game, Best Multiplayer Game, Supreme Sports Award, Worst Game, Most Overrated Game, Most Anticipated Game, Best Power-Up/Weapon, Best Vehicle, Best Sub-Game, Most GOBS Macking Moment, and Most Bonkers Plot, with suggested titles like Zelda, Ocarina of Time, GoldenEye 007, and Banjo-Kazooie. Technical awards include Most Stunning Visuals and Most Ear-Trembling Audio, with suggestions like Lylat Wars, Star Fox 64, and Rogue Squadron. People awards include Greatest Hero, Best Game Developer, Most Terrifying Enemy, Hunk Award, Babe Award, Most Annoying Character, and Ultimo Cool Award, offering a mix of character, developer, and subjective coolness votes. The page also includes screenshots and fun imagery. 64 Magazine celebrates 24 issues with a look back at its beginnings. The first 6 issues are highlighted, starting with the February 1997 launch, just before the N64's release. Issue 1 featured Super Mario 64 as Game of the Month. Subsequent issues covered topics like the price drop of the N64 and Star Fox 64's delay. Game of the Month choices included Star Fox 64, Mario Kart 64, and the obscure Go! Troublemakers. Issue 4 saw a trip to E3, showcasing GoldenEye and Banjo-Kazooie. By issue 5, the magazine was the best-selling N64 publication. GoldenEye was finally named Game of the Month in this issue. Issue 6, faced with a game shortage, highlighted Diddy Kong Racing, with F1 pole position surprisingly chosen as Game of the Month. Several staff members like Andy McDermott, Roy Kimber, and Loz Cooper are quoted, providing insights into those early days. The retrospective also reminds readers to vote in the Reader Awards. 64 Magazine's issues were a mixed bag. Issue 7 was strong, with Diddy Kong Racing as Game of the Month, despite Nintendo's price drop. Issue 8 was weaker, with World Soccer 98 winning Game of the Month. Issue 9 saw the team in Japan for Space World, and Issue 10 was hurt by production issues, with Fighter's Destiny as Game of the Month. Issues 11 and 12 were unremarkable. Issue 13 was considered forgettable, while Issue 14 focused on reader feedback and revisions. Issue 15 brought game charts and E3 coverage, with Buster Move 2 as Game of the Month. Issue 16 was the end of an era, with Banjo-Kazooie as Game of the Month. Issue 17 featured a new look, and F-Zero X as Game of the Month. Finally, Issue 18, despite a Gex cover, saw a high number of high scores and Wayne Gretzky's 98 as Game of the Month. 64 Magazine, Issue 19, covered multiple issues. Issue 19 highlighted the London ECTS show, previewing Perfect Dark, Jet Force Gemini, and Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Mortal Kombat 4 was Game of the Month, 86%. Issue 20 saw NHL 99 win Game of the Month, 88%. Issue 21 featured a review trip to Germany for Zelda, which earned Game of the Month with 98%. Issue 22, with a South Park cover, featured Buster Move 3DX as Game of the Month, 90%. Issue 23 covered the Christmas period, with Star Wars, Rogue Squadron taking Game of the Month, 92%. Issue 24 saw FIFA 99 as Game of the Month, 91%. An advertisement for 64 Solutions Issue 9, offering N64 tips, cheats, and maps for £3.95, was also included. This 64 Magazine Review Roundup provides a guide to N64 games, with explanations of review elements like Ninfo, Expansion Pack, and rating systems. Featured games include Super Smash Bros., with a playful recommendation, Mario Party, Castlevania, FIFA 99, Magical Tetris Challenge, All-Star Tennis, Nightmare Creatures, and Virtual Pool 64. The issue also includes a guide to the N64 controller, suggestions for alternative games, and a breakdown of the magazine's rating system, graphics, audio, gameplay, challenge. The reviews consider aspects like PAL performance and saving options. It's a comprehensive resource for N64 gamers looking to expand their collections. 64 Magazine highly recommends Super Smash Bros., calling it a must-have title. The beat-em-up game, developed by HAL and published by Nintendo, features iconic Nintendo characters battling across themed arenas. The objective is to knock opponents off-screen using a variety of moves, including special attacks that intensify with damage. The game supports up to 4 players and features a chaotic, fun 4-player mode, emphasizing strategic gameplay. The review highlights the game's strengths, including its cast of beloved Nintendo characters, innovative single-player mode, and excellent graphics and music. Yoshi Must Die focuses on specific character strategies. The game saves scores, character stats, and bonus characters. Ultimately, the review presents Super Smash Bros. As an essential N64 title. Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64 is a fast-paced, chaotic beat-em-up, featuring iconic Nintendo characters like Mario, Link, and Pikachu. The game offers diverse gameplay thanks to each character's unique abilities and the inclusion of power-ups like baseball bats and laser guns. Players battle against each other in a 4-player mode. The final boss, Master Hand, offers a unique challenge. The controls are standard N64 fare. The review praises the game across the board, giving it top marks for graphics, audio, gameplay, and challenge, resulting in an overall score of 87%. Comparisons are made to other beat-em-ups, but the game's family-friendly, Madcap Fun is unique. The soundbite perfectly captures the experience, offering fast, madcap fun with colorful and crazy characters, making it a great game to play with friends. Mario Party for the N64 is reviewed, described as a video board game for up to 4 players, requiring a rumble pack. The game, developed by Nintendo and Hudson from Japan, is an import title. The review highlights various minigames, totaling 50, some allowing 4 players. Examples include block matching, fishing, Bowser face morphing, and a claw game. Minigames are simple and quick, using one button and the stick. Winning earns coins, losing can result in loss of coins. Compared to Tamagotchi World, and even mentioned as being more fun than Mario Kart 64, and featuring a scale-extric minigame, it's recommended for groups. The review praises the gameplay, graphics, and audio with high scores, although the challenge is slightly lower. The overall score is 80%. A second opinion is provided in French. This page features a review of Castlevania on the Nintendo 64, declaring, "The children of the night are all grown up." It sets the scene with Count Dracula returning, of course, and you get to play as either Reinhard Schneider or Carrie Fernandez, vampire slayers in the classic style. The reviewer reckons it's a mix of Tomb Raider and Zelda, heavy on platforming and Switch puzzles. The 64 question box highlights great story, fantastic music, atmosphere, gameplay variety and replay value as positives, but points out a useless camera, annoying platform sections, and weak visuals as downsides. The Nympho section tells us it's from Konami, an adventure game from Japan, already out as an import, and priced at £59.99. Memory options are listed, with controller pack needing 4 save slots. They mention Vincent Price and Christopher Lee as inspirations, hinting at the game's horror vibe. Screenshots show skeletons riding Nazi motorbikes. A bit bonkers, eh? Mention vampire attacks inside mansions, 3-headed dogs breathing fire, and fountains with hidden items. The review suggests the camera is a major issue, but the atmosphere and variety are strong points. Sounds like a mixed bag, but with some classic Castlevania elements. This page continues the review of Castlevania on the N64, under the title, The Dead Rise. It kicks off by describing the game's start, with your character, Carrie, discovering a corpse and skeletons rising. They reckon it's got a good mix of exploration and puzzle solving, like a blend of Tomb Raider and Zelda. The candle in the whip section talks about how breaking objects reveals gems for powering up weapons, which is a classic Castlevania touch. There's a bottom line controls bit showing the N64 pad layout. Standard stuff really. They offer up alternatives like Zelda and Silicon Valley. Take 2 if you fancy something similar, mentioning their review scores from previous issues. The review uses little N64 logos to rate graphics, audio, gameplay, and challenge, and gives it an overall score of 85%. The soundbite sums it up as a worthy sequel, with some minor faults. They've got screenshot captions, highlighting bits like bone snakes guarding a portcullis, early puzzles being switch-based, and a creepy mirror effect where vampires have no reflections. There's even a mention of a KFC inside Dracula's castle, which is a bit of a laugh. Roy Kimber's second opinion box praises the atmosphere and 3D makeover, suggesting mature gamers will enjoy it, despite the difficulty potentially putting off younger players. Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, a sequel to the original, receives a 64% review score. This quirky action-adventure game features vibrant graphics, a mix of 2D and 3D elements, and a cast of strange characters. Players can enjoy a two-player cooperative mode as they navigate a Japan plagued by stolen machines and mischievous ghosts. The review praises the entertaining gameplay and open environments, but criticizes the lack of a map and the presence of untranslated Japanese text. The game uses a 2.5D perspective, offering a 3D illusion with 2D movement, likely to accommodate the two-player mode and enhance speech. Boss battles, such as a spiky problem and occasional perspective issues, add to the experience. Giant robot battles return, now featuring Impactina, a female companion for Impact. With 4 save slots, the game promises a unique and enjoyable, albeit weird, experience. Mystical Ninja starring Goemon 2 receives an 80% score, praised as a significant improvement over its predecessor. The game addresses previous issues, like slow travel, with new maps. Mix and Match allows character switching, utilizing unique abilities of new characters, Sasuke, Ya, and Ebisu. Boss battles involve smashing gopher heads. Gameplay is influenced by day/night cycles and includes new ghost types. The review highlights excellent graphics, audio, gameplay, and challenge. Andy McDermott compares it favorably to SNES Goemon games. The review, while enthusiastic, notes the Japanese text as a minor drawback, eagerly anticipating the English release of this excellent arcade adventure. FIFA 99 on 64 received a glowing 91% rating, hailed as EA's best effort. The review, titled, "Undoubtedly FIFA's Finest Hour," praises the game's extensive content, including over 220 teams and options, like the European Dream League and Custom Cups. Player trading, a new feature, is compared to Championship Manager but is easier to learn. Gameplay is described as slightly less intuitive than IS-98, but easy to score goals, with options for different speeds. Graphics and audio both receive top marks, along with the gameplay itself. The game features quick passing, impressive animations, and fancy moves. The Super Hires mode enhances visuals, albeit at a slower pace. Team management features in-match formation changes. Despite its excellence, the review concludes that FIFA 99 doesn't quite surpass IS-98. This page is a review of Magical Tetris Challenge for the N64, giving it a 65% overall rating. The reviewer, Roy Kimber, starts with a humorous fictional Disney corporate headquarters meeting, where the game's concept is devised. It's described as another Tetris clone, but with a Disney twist and a magical element that clears blocks with a meter. The game features colorful graphics and a 70s-style soundtrack, but is considered mundane in story mode and only for 2 players. The "I'm gonna tell you a story" section talks about the story mode being tenuous, involving Mickey Mouse needing to play Tetris. The review highlights the Magical Tetris Challenge mode and Up-Down Tetris as gameplay variations. The bottom line controls details the N64 controller mappings. Alternatives lists Tetrisphere and Bust-A-Move 3DX as other options. The rating breakdown shows graphics, audio, and gameplay scoring 4 out of 5 N64 logos, while Challenge gets 3 and overall 4, aligning with the 65% score. A second opinion from Andy McDermott mentions that despite being another Tetris, the oddly shaped blocks add something different, though he calls it sacrilege. The soundbite box suggests you could buy a Game Boy Pocket with original Tetris for the same price, indicating a slightly lukewarm reception despite decent scores. All-Star Tennis 99 for the N64 received a 64% rating from 64 Magazine. Reviewer Ben Lawrence found the game underwhelming despite its title. Developed by Ubisoft, it supports 1 to 4 players and utilizes expansion and rumble packs. The game, released in March 1999 for £44.99, lacks depth in its fictional players and gameplay detail. The review criticized the game dynamics, especially the ball-racket contact. However, special moves and bomb tennis mode offered some entertainment. Features highlighted included intelligent AI, super smashes, replays, player selection, and bomb-based gameplay. The reviewer considered it more of a bad job made good than a truly great tennis game, despite the option to save tournaments and stats. This page continues the review of All-Star Tennis 99 for the Nintendo 64, and it seems our Ben Lawrence wasn't overly impressed, giving it a 70% overall. He mentions the playing dynamics reek of Dinny cheapness, which isn't exactly glowing praise, but he does highlight the special moves and bomb tennis mode as fun additions. The review box shows the control layout for the N64 controller, breaking down what each button does, like B for medium stroke and A for low hit. Under alternatives, they suggest Let's Smash and IS-98 as better options. The ratings are broken down into graphics, audio, gameplay and challenge, all getting 3.5 and symbols out of 5, except challenge, which only gets 3. The soundbite quote at the bottom says, "Buy Let's Smash instead," so it's clear what they really think. Elsewhere on the page, there are adverts for Console King and Madeira games, both flogging consoles, games, and accessories. Madeira games are pushing Dreamcast hardware and games, along with N64 bits, while Console King seems to be offering import and modding services. There's also a blood donation advert, which is a bit random. Nightmare Creatures for N64 is a Victorian London horror adventure beat-em-up. The game excels in atmosphere, creating a spooky London setting. However, the gameplay is linear and simplistic, drawing comparisons to Resident Evil for its puzzles but lacking the depth. Puzzles are described as tricky but straightforward, with examples like burning barrels to clear paths. The plot involves genetic viruses and superhuman creation, fitting the monster movie genre. Level design is linear but incorporates puzzle elements. The game features imaginative monsters, good graphics and gore. Negatives include linearity, few puzzles, monotonous gameplay, and camera/control issues. It supports expansion and rumble packs, published by Activision and developed by Callisto. The game features screenshots showing gameplay and creature designs, including an easy-to-defeat snowman boss and a berserker power-up. Ultimately, it's a decent, albeit basic, monster-bashing game. Qua. Nightmare Creatures on the N64 is a horror beat-em-up set in Victorian London with a spooky atmosphere and imaginative monster designs. However, the gameplay is considered linear and simple, lacking depth in its puzzles and feeling repetitive. While the graphics and gore are good, the game suffers from camera and control issues. The review details the controller layout and gives the game an overall score of 55%. A second opinion criticizes the lack of effort in the conversion from PlayStation, calling it monotonous. A soundbite labels it a dated PSX game not worth converting. Screenshots showcase the satisfying use of dynamite. An advertisement for Nintendo 64 Gold, a strategy guide with cheats and a free memory card, is also included in the review. Virtual Pool 64 for Nintendo 64 is a solid pool simulator, praised for its accurate ball dynamics and simple, intuitive controls using the analog stick. The game offers numerous options, including various table types, adjustable skill levels, and customizable rules, as well as a wide array of trick shots. The reviewer highlights the impressive physics, comparing them to early Pixar films. Positive aspects include beautiful ball dynamics, extensive options, and easy controls, mirroring real-life pool. Downsides include poor 2D crowd and scenery. The game supports expansion and rumble packs. The review awards top marks for graphics, audio, gameplay, and challenge, resulting in an 84% overall score. The reviewer, Roy Kimber, recommends it as a must-have, especially if you can't afford a real pool table. Issue 24 of 64 Magazine, 1999, features cheat codes for several Nintendo 64 games. For Star Wars, Rogue Squadron, codes include DEDAC for level select, Coelch to swap your ship, Hard Rock for a Luke Skywalker replacement, and Blameuse to view the development team. Level passwords are also provided. Turok 2, Seeds of Evil gets the Beware Oblivionaise at hand code, unlocking all cheats. Battle Tanks codes unlock gangs and levels. The magazine also mentions a South Park guide and Rogue Squadron as part of a larger series. This issue of 64 Magazine's Cheat Central highlights various N64 game exploits. Silicon Valley reveals alternate intro sequences. GoldenEye's Deathmatch mode features a hide the flag cheat for slapping opponents. Smash Bros. Provides alternate costumes with C button presses on the character select screen, and unlocks Captain Falcon, Purin, and Luigi through gameplay. Fox Sports College Hoops 99 offers numerous cheat codes for silly modes like Big Heads and Ghost Players. Magical Tetris Challenge showcases endless Tetris mode stats. Lastly, Nightmare Creatures Before Release offers a cheat menu via a specific password entry for infinite lives and monster selection. Issue 24 of 64 magazine, 1999, features a 4-page score zone dedicated to N64 high scores. Readers compete in various games: Star Fox 64, top scores and sector times, F1 World Grand Prix, fastest lap times, with generic Spangberg dominating, Top Gear Rally, Jason LaRosa and Gavin Deadman lead on multiple tracks, Snowboard Kids, Kevin Keeney and Rob Pierce excel, and Nagano Winter Olympics, John Quarry scores well. Yoshi's Story and Wheatrix Classic are also included. GoldenEye 007 receives extensive coverage, showcasing scores across numerous levels, with Danny Dunn, Matthew Stevenson, and Carl Watt leading. The issue concludes with a pinboard, featuring photos of readers. Scorezone showcases N64 game leaderboards across multiple titles. F-Zero X features top players like Jeffrey Vanderaa and John Quarry. Mario Kart 64 sees Alan Dundas and Charles Nuttall competing, alongside 1080 Degrees Snowboarding with Kevin Keeney and Daniel Dunn. Diddy Kong Racing highlights Keith Boyston and Adam Charlton. Other games include Extreme G, Tetrisphere, Mischief Makers, Mario 64, Quake 64, with Carl Watt and John Quarry leading the charge. Banjo-Kazooie features Danny Dunn and Kevin Keeney. Chameleon Twist and Turok get quick mentions. Fighters Destiny and Shadows of the Empire conclude the page, with names like John Lambrechts and Matthew Stevenson setting records. This page advertises Department 1, a game shop in London, pushing their services for buying, selling and exchanging games and consoles, with a big focus on Nintendo 64 and the upcoming Dreamcast. They are keen to highlight they deal in both new and second-hand gear, even Japanese imports. For the N64 they've got all the bits and bobs, accessories and a stack of games listed like 1080 Snowboarding, Banjo-Kazooie, Castlevania 64, F-Zero X, GoldenEye, Mario Kart 64, Quake 2, Zelda 64, Ocarina of Time and loads more. Dreamcast is getting a big build-up with Sonic Adventure and Virtua Fighter 3 TB mentioned, all the launch window bangers. They even touch on Game Boy Color and Neo Geo Pocket for those handheld fanatics. And for the collectors out there, they're flogging Nintendo keyrings, soft toys and those Zelda 64 figures that were all the rage. They're really pushing their exchange deals and price promises. Proper old school games shop this, right in the heart of London. This guide details 2 levels from Star Wars, Rogue Squadron. Level 11, Battle Above Talon, tasks you with destroying Imperial Tibanna gas canisters while avoiding civilian casualties. You pilot an A-Wing, battling TIE fighters and interceptors, and sentry guns. The strategy involves using lasers and missiles carefully, prioritizing turrets. A gold medal requires speed and accuracy. Level 12, Escape from Fest, involves rescuing captured ATPTS from an Imperial base using a speeder. Your objectives are to free the ATPTS, destroy a research facility, and escort the ATPTS to a landing zone. You'll face TIE bombers, AT-ATS, and more. The guide breaks the mission into 2 parts: rescuing the ATPTS using harpoons, and destroying the facility. Protecting the ATPTS from bomber attacks is critical. A gold medal demands saving all ATPTS and rapidly destroying the facility. The next page of this magazine continues the Star Wars Rogue Squadron guide, this time covering levels 13 and 14. Level 13 is Blockade on Chandrila. Moff Seodon is holding Chandrila hostage, and you need to protect the people and the supply train. The mission objectives are to escort the supply train and protect the city, flying an X-Wing against TIE bombers, interceptors, fighters, stormtroopers, and ATSTS. The guide mentions it's split into 2 parts, first protecting the train, and then defending the city from TIE bombers and ATST walkers. The gold medal is achieved by completing the level quickly and safely. Level 14 is Raid on Sullust. Kasan Moore is attacking a volcano base on Sullust, and this is retaliation for the blockade on Chandrila. Your mission objectives are to destroy the transmitters and the capacitor, flying a Y-Wing. You'll face TIE interceptors, fighters, ATSTS, gun turrets and missile launchers. The guide explains you need to destroy transmitters to lower the capacitor's shield. It advises targeting the white blocks inside the capacitor, and focusing on missile launchers first. The Y-wing is robust, but avoid getting caught in explosions. For a gold medal, speed and accuracy are key, with bomb dropping required. Level 15, Moff Seardan's Revenge, tasks you with freeing Thifera. As an X-wing pilot, your mission is to protect Bacta containers, minimize civilian casualties, and destroy Imperial forces, including Moff Seardan's shuttle. Expect to encounter TIE bombers, interceptors, fighters, AT-STS, gun turrets, and missile launchers. Prioritize eliminating TIE bombers and AT-STS. Seardan's shuttle is heavily armored, requiring skillful piloting as proton torpedoes won't work. Gold medals are awarded for quick completion. Level 16, the Battle of Calamari, puts you in a V-wing, piloted by Wedge Antilles, to destroy world devastators menacing Mon Calamari. Your objectives: destroy the devastators and protect the city. Face world devastators, robot TIEs, and Imperial catamarans. Utilize your V-wing speed and maneuverability. Focus on destroying the shield generators, then the legs of the 3 devastators. Be mindful of the faster robot TIEs. For gold medals, speed and target destruction are key, so eliminate those Imperial catamarans. This guide provides a walkthrough for Operation Turkey Butt in the N64 game South Park. It covers 3 levels: Fair Game, Turkey Shoot, and Search and Destroy. Fair Game involves finding friends at a Renaissance fair, battling turkeys, collecting items like Zippy Cola and Cheesy Poofs, and reaching the finish. Turkey Shoot focuses on eliminating all turkeys using dodgeballs and Cheesy Poofs, including tank turkeys. Search and Destroy tasks players with clearing a turkey lair, navigating through caves and tunnels, and defeating the giant turkey boss. The guide also includes a cheat code section with humorous codes like Bobbybird for all cheats, Screw you guys for show credits, and many others to unlock various game features like characters, levels, and weapons. This page is a playing guide continuing for the South Park game on the N64, moving on from the previous mission, Operation Turkey Butt, Homecoming, and now onto a clone of your own missions. The first is, There Goes the Neighborhood, where you need to clear tank clones from reaching the school, involving finding your mates and grabbing dodgeballs to take out tank clones, eventually heading to Tupper Warehouse. Then there's Warehouse Run, where you need to clear warehouses of tank clones and police blockades, and find the cow launcher. Finally, Mother Loving Spoonful is all about battling the mother clone in the museum, recommending power dodgeballs to defeat this rubbery blob boss. There are also secret areas mentioned in both the Warehouse Run and Mother Loving Spoonful levels that contain extra armor and Cheesy Poofs. The South Park game guide continues, detailing several levels. The Visitor's Return involves finding items like dodgeballs, toilet plungers, and Mr. Hanky near Chef's Shack, while dealing with alien cattle bombing. To Craterville has players navigating canyons and battling alien tanks to reach the town, with hidden areas containing supplies. 1MOT focuses on defeating alien guards near the mothership, collecting items, and obtaining an alien key. Finally, Her of a Ship sees players entering the mothership, battling waves of aliens, and utilizing a secret cave for power-ups. Defeating the final blue aliens yields another key, granting access to the ship. A secret burial chamber offers additional items. This South Park game guide provides tips for several levels, including Blow the Core, Seismic Rumble, and Militia Camp Ma. Blow the Core involves finding items, defeating alien guards, and collecting Cheesy Poofs. Seismic Rumble guides players through battling robots with Warp Array and eggs. Militia Camp Ma emphasizes collecting ammo and navigating Chef's Shack to reach the militia gates. DNESS focuses on tunnel travel and fighting robots to reach a ranch. Nuts and Bolts details factory navigation, using Warp Array to progress and defeat a boss. Mad Robot / Mr. Hat is a boss battle using Terrence and Philip dolls. Finally, Alien Core involves low-gravity combat, destroying the core with powerful weapons. The guide incorporates gameplay screenshots and offers straightforward navigation and combat advice. Jakun. This page of 64 magazine continues the South Park playing guide, diving into more level walkthroughs. First up is Toy Rampage, where you're fighting through the town, battling toy tanks, vomiting dolls, and even miniature biplanes. The guide mentions using SWAT vans and navigating through tracks and streets, eventually reaching the toy store. Next is Parking Problem, set in Hell's parking lot. Here you need to grab weapons like the toilet plunger gun and sponge dart gun to take on toy tanks and miniature enemies. The aim is to battle a Jack-in-the-Box tank and prevent it from reaching the town. Batteries included, takes place inside the toy store. The objective is to crush, kill, and destroy evil toys. You'll be fighting Jack-in-the-Box tanks, collecting items like toilet plungers and sponge dart ammo, and using Terrence and Philip dolls to deal with smaller toys. The page also gives tips for the boss battle against Ultra Mega Man. The strategy involves shooting the M on its chest, then targeting the batteries on its back when it turns to recharge, and using a small round switch to weaken it. You're advised to keep your distance and dodge its attacks to win this fight and save South Park. There's also a secret tip revealing that after meeting Stan you can find cheesy poofs and a Warpo ray gun with extra ammo in the backyard of a house and a super sniper chicken on the roof. This page is a right proper advert for Nintendo 64 guides and magazines. They're tempting you with a deal where if you take out a 12-month subscription to 64 Solutions magazine, you get to choose a free game from a decent bunch. Super Mario 64, Zelda 64, Yoshi's Story, Banjo-Kazooie, or Diddy Kong Racing. Then they are pushing a load of strategy guides. There's Nintendo 64 Secrets, Strategies, Solutions Volume 3 which covers loads of games like Banjo-Kazooie, Mortal Kombat 4, Yoshi's Story, Forsaken, and Mission Impossible. They've got specific guides for Zelda 64, Banjo-Kazooie, GoldenEye, Lilac Wars, and Turok 2, each promising all the secrets and solutions. There's even a Nintendo 64 Secrets, Strategies, Solutions Gold Book, which is a complete as of tips, and comes with a free memory card, a proper bonus back in the day. Alongside the books, they're also advertising the complete as of 64 Games magazine which reviews absolutely loads of N64 games, and Maximum Solutions, Turok 2 magazine which is solely dedicated to Turok 2, covering tactics and walkthroughs. Right at the bottom they've got the order form and all the ways to get in touch: phone, email, web, fax and by post. Warringtolu old school mail order, this is Goraz. The next page is an advertisement for subscribing to 64 magazine, and they've got a mega deal on offer. If you take out a 12-issue subscription, they're chucking in a free Nintendo 64 game, and there's a solid bunch to pick from, including Zelda 64, Turok 2, GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie, 1080 Snowboarding, ISS 98, Diddy Kong Racing, and F1 World Grand Prix. On top of that, the mega deal also includes a Secrets, Strategies and Solutions book. Subscription options are available for 6 or 12 issues, with the mega deal being the best value 12-issue option. Payment can be made by check or credit card. There are also order forms for both subscriptions and back issues, with a range of back issues from issue number 2 through to 23 available. The Nindex from 64 magazine reviews various N64 games. High Flyers, the best games, include Zelda, 98%, GoldenEye, 95%, and Banjo-Kazooie, 95%. Dead Ducks highlights the worst, with Aero Fighters Assault, 20%, and Clay Fighter 63 1/3 8% being critically panned. Individual game reviews cover a wide range of genres. Notable scores include 1080 Snowboarding, 82%, Body Harvest, 85%, and Buster Move 2, 91%. The Hit the Heights section ranks the best platformers, with Zelda 64 topping the list. 6 Feet Under names Doraemon as the worst platformer, 30%. This N64 review roundup covers a wide range of genres. Cruisin' USA and Cruisin' World are universally panned for poor gameplay and graphics. Doom 64 and Duke Nukem 64 offer solid but flawed FPS experiences. Sports games like FIFA 64 and The Glory of St. Andrews receive low scores, while IS Serenity 8 and F1 World Grand Prix are highly praised. Fighting games vary, with Fighter's Destiny and Killer Instinct Gold doing well. F-Zero X and Let's Smash receive high marks. GoldenEye and The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time are considered must-buys. Forsaken and Diddy Kong Racing are also strong recommendations. The 64 score, Shoot 'em Ups, section highlights Forsaken, Lilac Wars, Extreme G, and Fighter's Destiny. The Hit the Bull section features the top 5 rated games, including GoldenEye and Lilac Wars. Load of Bull features the poorly rated Aero Fighters Assault. This N64 review roundup covers a range of titles. High-scoring games include Micro Machines, 64 Turbo, 91%, Mortal Kombat 4, 86%, and NBA Courtside, 85%. Sports games like NHL 99, 88%, NFL Quarterback Club 99, 89%, and NFL Blitz 85% performed well. Mario Kart 64 received a strong 78%. Conversely, games like Mission Impossible 48%, Mortal Kombat Mythologies, Sub-Zero 46%, and Off-Road Challenge 27% were poorly received. Other titles reviewed include fighting, racing, platforming, and puzzle games, with scores varying significantly. The article also notes scores for puzzle games: Buster Move 2 91%, Buster Move 3DX 90%, as well as the cup winners of IS Saninti 8 95% and ISS 64 93%. This page reviews a variety of Nintendo 64 games. Standout titles include Star Wars, Rogue Squadron, and Super Mario 64, both scoring 92%. Other highly rated games include Turok 2, Seeds of Evil 90%, Weetrix, and Wipeout 64, both 86%. Conversely, Wailea Country Club received a dismal 15%. The page also features Top Gears racing games, highlighting F1 World Grand Prix 94%, and Micro Machines 64, 91%. Blown Exhaust gave Cruisin' USA a low score of 22%. Black Eye awarded Clay Fighter 63 and a third, a shocking 8%. The Black Belts, beat-em-ups, were led by WWF Warzone and Mortal Kombat 4, both 86%. This page promotes the next issue of 64 magazine, issue 25, highlighting Vigilante 8 on the cover, promising a room with a view. It teases features on WWF Attitude, Snowboard Kids 2, Quake 2, Beetle Racing Adventure, Monaco Grand Prix, Battle Tanks, and Starshot. Elsewhere on the page it's an advert for Special Reserve, encouraging readers to join the club for perks like magazines, cheats, discounts, and web access. There are sections detailing Nintendo 64 extras, including memory cards, rumble packs, and controllers at various prices. A selection of Nintendo 64 games are listed for sale spanning a wide range of genres and prices, such as 1080 Snowboarding, Biofreaks, Bomberman 64, Buck Bumble, Chameleon Twist, Cruisin' World, Doom 64, GoldenEye, Mario Kart 64, Quake 64, Star Wars, Turok and Zelda amongst many others. Nintendo 64 controllers are also advertised, including Mad Catz steering wheel, official Jordan Dual Rumble wheel, official Nintendo 3D controllers, Joytech controller, Nugent Manta Ray controller, and the Interactor Rumble vest. Game Boy Color consoles and accessories are also featured with various color options, and the Game Boy camera and printer. There is a comparative advert against PlayStation deals and a stop press section about controller stock. Finally, it lists locations for Special Reserve Big Club discount shops.